All right, so today we're going to be talking about the one skill set that has literally elevated and 10x my business and myself. So we're going to be diving into that today. Stay tuned for the full episode.
Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday on the Latin Wealth Podcast. Hopefully, you guys are blessed and doing well. As I teased earlier in the video, we're going to be talking about the one skill set that really helped me as a person and helped me elevate my business. And not only am I going to give that one skill set to you guys, but also our guy Jeremiah is going to give his perspective on that thing that helps him, takes him to the next level. And, we really hope that the purpose of us doing this is to help our community, the Latino community, build wealth, build success, and strategize on how to get to the next level with real skill sets. Right. This is something that we don't talk about too much, but we wanted to dive into it today. It's very interesting in this world that we live in. There's an excess of information out there, right? I don't know about you, Jeremiah, but I'm
Mm,
constantly listening to either like church
love it.
sermons or
Yeah.
business videos or why things failed, why things are being successful, like constantly, right? And I think a lot of people out there do the same, but the thing that separates the good from great is the application of that knowledge.
Yes.
So instead of us coming on here and giving, hey, 20 different things that we've done in our business to help you out, we're just going to give one each. And I believe if you apply and you master both of these things or just one of them, you'll see a lot of growth in your business or even in your personal life.
Agreed. I feel like a lot of people have that um, information overload.
Yeah.
And we only have bandwidth. We talked about that with Elon back in the day, right? You only have bandwidth for so much information. You only have bandwidth for a certain amount of information. One of my favorite books is Atomic Habits, and it's always talking about the little bitty changes, and when you make those changes, when you take out something negative, what do you replace that with? You got to replace it with something. That space has to be filled with
Mhm.
something. If you don't replace it with something good, then something bad will come with it. So we want to make sure that these two actual, I call them, exponential growing traits,
Mhm.
help you out.
I like that. I like
Hopefully you
that.
can. Yeah.
And by the way, we don't know. I don't know what scale Jeremiah picked. He don't know what I picked. So I'm gonna dive into mine. The thing that helped me out, and it got me into rooms, it got me deals, uh, relationships, and put the business stuff aside, money and all that. Just the people I've been able to meet through networking for me has been the game. Hopefully you don't have the same one, but it's been the game.
I
Okay,
don't.
you don't. Cool. It's been the game changer for me, right? And
Yeah.
I want to dive into it a little bit more because we talk a lot about networking, and people may think, yo, networking is just like going to an event and just talking to any and everybody. For me, over the years, I've been strategic about how I network, right? And to me, there's a couple different buckets. There's about four different buckets. Number one, I want to make sure that I'm intentional when I'm networking, right? So
Yeah.
being aware of what value I bring to the table, very, very important. And whether you guys agree or not, everybody that's listening has some type of value, right? Whether it's marketing, whatever it is, you have some type of value that you can bring to the table. You may not be a business owner, but there is a skill set that you can bring to the table that everybody thinks that everybody can perceive as value. Number two, I would say the ability to think outside the box while networking, right? So again, we think the traditional way of networking is going to these different events. You can definitely make it happen by doing that. But we got the internet, social media, right? Instead of being a consumer of information and just content and whatnot, we can be a producer or we can reach out to people and network on social media, network on LinkedIn. You guys may or may not know Jeremiah and I met through Instagram,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Just I seen what he was doing. He seen what I was doing. Shot him in, or he. I think you sent me a
I
DM.
sent you a DM. Yeah, I sent you a DM.
Either way, we jumped on the call, and we've been locked in ever since. Right? That's a perfect example of networking and thinking outside the box, like not the traditional way. Matter of fact, um, I think I spoke about it on this podcast, but I recently upgraded to a little bit more expensive gym. The reason why I did that is because if people are paying more money to be here, chances are they probably got a little bit more money. And you pull up to the parking lot, I mean, you see Rolls Royces, you see
I know
all
where you
types.
went to. I know what
You
you
know,
switched to.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it's thinking outside the box and putting yourself in an environment where you can excel. And when I'm at the gym, if I get the time, if I get the moment, I'm saying what's up to people. I'm asking, what do you do? I met videographers in there. I met photographers. I've already done business with people at the gym. So thinking outside the box. And then number three, I think this is probably Jeremiah's favorite aspect when it comes to networking is you got to be able to do the work, right? You can talk a good talk. You can go to these
Yeah.
different events. You can go to the nice gyms. You could know your value, but you got to be able to show up and do the work. And when you do that, you'll position yourself to you'll you'll be able to position yourself where people can talk good about you, and now they're networking for you, right? Now your names is being brought up in other rooms that you're not even in, and that in itself, word of mouth, has got me different business opportunities, different deals that man I probably would never have been able to do by myself simply through networking. What are your thoughts,
I,
bro?
I mean, great breakdown first and foremost, and a skill set that's like utterly the lifeblood of being successful in today's society. Think about it. You don't get too many places without that relationship equity. And so the way that you network and having an actual skill set and a practical breakdown, when I go into this room, I want to speak to this person for this reason. I
Mm,
know they're going to ask this, so I'm going to know a little bit about them. I'm going to do a little bit of research. I'm going to have, so the way that you, and I know you do the same thing because I've seen you
yeah,
actually go and study the notes on people so that you have that content and that you have that breakdown to be able to talk to them and carry on the conversation and talk about them.
yeah,
Everyone wants to speak about themselves.
for
So if
sure.
you want to seem interesting or be interested in a person, then you want to make sure that you have that information. And
That's good.
um, what's funny is I was going to ask you how you, and you, man, you perfectly aligned it. Networking aligns you with John Hope Bryant, which is one of the most
Mm,
preliminary speakers, one of the most preliminary
yeah.
voices in today's
Good
society,
point.
in American
Good
society,
point.
bro. Talk about that, bro. Talk
So,
about that a little bit.
man, it's funny that you brought that up because this is all a series of events that happen from being consistent through
Yeah,
networking. It goes back
yeah.
to networking. The lady that helped me with that opportunity, I had her on my old podcast. Y'all don't even know about my other podcast, The Beautiful Struggle.
I do.
I,
I do.
you know about that. I had her on there
Yeah.
and I was talking to her about her story. And ever since then, we just kind of been tapped in. By the way, if you want a cheat code to networking, podcasting is the way to go
Facts.
because of what Jeremiah just said. People love to talk about themselves. You get them the opportunity to say, "Yo, come on my podcast," and you could talk about yourself. They're gonna say yes, right? But
Mhm.
that's a whole different story. But I was networking with her, and over the years, she's always just looked out for me. I looked out for her, and she presented me with this opportunity to interview some people. And she, by the way, she told me, I don't know who you're going to interview. I don't know
Wow.
what you're going to be able to ask. I don't
Wow.
know how much time. I don't know nothing.
Wow.
Just come ready. And I'm like, say less. What was the point I
Wow.
gave? Got to be able to do the work. I made sure that I came to that event with a videographer. We came with lights. We came with microphones. We came suited and booted.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And like Jeremiah said, I didn't know who I was going to be interviewing. I didn't know if I was going to interview 2 people or 50 people, but I prepared for every single speaker that was at that event. I prepared for everybody, had questions for everybody. And I was prepared to go 5 minutes and I was prepared to go an hour with everybody, right?
Wow.
So I ended up interviewing 9 people and one of them was John Home Bryant. I had about 5 minutes
Crazy.
with him,
Crazy.
and I was prepared. I was in the room. It's funny, Jeremiah. It was lunchtime, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, we're about to go get lunch. You want anything? You want to come with us?" I'm like, "No, I'm sitting right here because I don't know who's gonna walk through them doors while you guys are gone. I'm gonna sit
Right.
right here
That's
and
right.
be in the room, be ready." So that's how that happened.
So the preparation, right?
Preparation.
The mindset to actually do the work, right? Having a consistent focus on networking and understanding that those opportunities, sometimes some opportunities only come once. That may
That's
have
it.
been a door, a foot in the door. He'll remember, and or even if he doesn't, you could bring up the footage and be like, and he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I actually did remember that. You asked some good
Hmm.
questions." Like I thought that that was amazing, and I thought that the fact that I knew you were prepared because I just know you and the level of professionalism and the amount of work that you put into going into the interviews and the amount of work like it's a
Hmm.
process. Everyone gets on here and you look at Chris and you be like, oh, he's just a naturally bubbly. Da, da, da. Like,
It's work.
okay, I'm not giving my brother's game, but I'm gonna tell you that yes, he is, but it actually takes work. He
Hmm.
puts in the work to be what you see and be prepared and have the questions and dive in depth and so when I saw that, I knew that's what that was. It was a
Hmm.
culmination of, like you said, consistency in your networking and the preparation.
It had to be. It had to be.
Yeah.
It was no other way. And like it again, when you're doing good work and you're doing good things, you're a good person. Again, your name is going to reach in rooms
No
that you're
doubt.
not in. That
No
young
doubt.
lady, for whatever reason, thought about me and was like, "Yo, we need him at this conference," just based on the stuff that Jeremiah and I do, just based on the consistency, and just based on like, "Yo, I'll be honest, I'll check in and be like, Merry Christmas. Hope you and the family are good."
That's dope.
Like that's
Yeah,
also networking. Like, yo, hopefully you are good. Can I be praying for you? I go that deep, bro.
that's dope. I know
To
you
keep
do.
those relationships, because you just never know. You
Never
never
know.
know.
You never know. I what's funny is, and I don't want to. Am I cutting off yours?
No, no, no. You good. You good.
What's funny is that not mine isn't networking, but directly tied to that, the result of your networking is that you meet tons of people, right? You
Mm,
meet tons of people. You said that you actively keep some little pieces to Dale Carnegie's to win friends and influence people. That's one
mm-hmm.
of the skill sets that he teaches is remembering things about people, their
That's good.
daughter's name, what they're in,
That's
their
good.
wife likes to crochet, did it right? The little things that you remember. And so you meet, have all this tons of information, and that leads to my skill set.
Mm,
My skill set is being an extremely strong and proficient person in emotional intelligence.
that's a fact.
Now, why is that important? Because they're going to be all different types of people. There's all different kinds of relationships. There's all different kinds of feedback you get from people, different moods, different vibes, different whatever you want to call it, right? But understanding, having the emotional intelligence to understand and the awareness to understand when to say certain things, when to present things in a certain way. Um, if you're in sales, it's understanding when to go for the kill.
Mm,
It's understanding when to pull back because you're being
that's
too,
good.
you're being too transactional. You need to pull back a little bit. It needs to be more about the relationship and build a relationship. I don't need to talk business at this dinner where everybody's having a couple of drinks and did it like
That's
it's
good.
not going it's not going right. And so having that emotional intelligence and understanding what's going on means that I have awareness. A piece of that emotional intelligence, and one of the biggest pieces of that, I'm going to break this down. And guys, I've spoken about this previously, but if you are a leader or aspire to be a leader, or if you're someone in business that aspires to lead yourself, the five love languages.
Mm,
And I'm not speaking about, and I'm going to go through them. I'm not speaking about, um, people like, well, I don't want to date the people that I'm talking. Well, that's not the point. The point is to understand them, right? And to be able to
mm,
coincide with them and grow and be able to grow your business, scale your business, or scale whatever it is that you're doing, your whatever aspect in life, right? Um, Number one, words of affirmation. Do you know what that means? That means you're expressing your enjoyment of a person, or you're expressing or giving compliments to that person. You're saying, "Hey, did you know that you're a great coworker? Did
That's
you know, man, you did phenomenal in that project, bro? You killed it. Like,
good.
man, how did you prepare? How did you give people uplifting words, words of affirmation? Another one is quality time. Some people aren't big on the words you say, but they're big on the word on the time that you spend with them.
100%.
It could be you taking them to dinner, you taking them to lunch. It could be just a cup of coffee with Starbucks. But that may be one of the biggest things for you, right? And you never know. Hey, in one of those coffee meetings, that person reveals something to you. They have an idea that they've been mulling over, and it's $1 trillion idea. Quality time. Number three is receiving gifts. Okay, there are some people, myself included. I'm a materialistic person on some aspects.
Hmm.
Um, give me,
Nice,
and here's the thing.
nice polo.
Yeah, a nice polo. It don't, but not even that. It don't even have to be like a nice polo. Like, yo, if you give me a card or a keychain or something that shows a little bit of thought, right? The
Yeah,
gift giving, for me,
100%.
that's one of my love languages. Like, I like to receive gifts because you thought about me, and there's something physically that I can see that you thought about me, right? So, okay, gifts. That's pretty simple. Acts of service. That's my number one. Gift giving is my number two. Acts of service is number one. Why? Because for me, I grew up in a household with my grandparents, and I saw my grandpa, and I didn't hear them say much. I love you. They
Hmm.
weren't affectionate with each other. There wasn't a, but what it was is I saw my grandpa consistently giving effort and consistently sacrificing for my grandmother. I saw acts of service. So his love was, I'm going to do everything possible to make sure your life is a life of comfort. So for me, I like growing up in that, I saw that and I'm like, okay, acts of service is a huge way to show somebody that you love them because you could tell me you love me, a pair of lips will say anything. That's what they say, right? But if you actually show me through your actions, that's important. And then the last one is physical touch. I'll say this. Obviously, if you're working with somebody, you probably don't want to physically touch them if you don't know them, right?
Right.
But a handshake, right? A strong handshake, man to man, a dap, right? Um, a hug, if it's allowable, if it's permittable, right? And there's a professional hug, a side by side hug, right? It's not a full in front of a
Hmm.
frontal hug. It's a side by side hug. No,
Rentals
I
are
mean I'm
crazy.
giving
Yeah, no, you're
because
right. You're
you
right.
know
You're right.
you gotta, right? So physical touch, um, like I said, it could be dap. If you're in a, I'll give you an example of you probably less than desired, but we all know it. I play basketball, you play sports, the coach slaps you on your butt. And it's not something like that, right? It's like, good job. Like, I mean,
Right.
so it's like there's different pieces and different things. It's physical touch, but in an obviously a permissible way, a way
Right.
that is right. So these are the five love languages. Here's the thing, if you learn what a person's love language is and you're able to translate, right, your thoughts or your purpose or your energy into what their love language is, I promise you that you're going to be successful. And those people usually know that you care about them because you're speaking their language, right? And then what ends up happening is you start to be more successful. You ever wanted to get a deal? You ever wanted to close a deal, close a really, really big deal? I promise you, if you learn the love language of the person that is the decision maker, probably gonna be successful in getting that deal. So my biggest skill set that took me from whatever, like you can learn all the technical aspects and all these things in money and things like that, but the number one thing that has carried me to another level, it's funny that ours are related because yours was
Hmm.
networking. My number one thing is emotional intelligence. Part of that is the love languages, which is the highest level for me of emotional intelligence.
Man, you said a lot there. So number one, about the five love languages, I love that because, like you said, not only will that put you in position to win, whether it's deals, whether it's building a team, but just imagine how much of a powerful leader you can be if you understand everybody's on your team's love language. How do they like to be
Yeah.
communicated to? How
Yeah.
do they like gifts? Maybe they make a sale, they hit a milestone, you get them a gift card or something like that,
Mhm.
and that will incentivize them to work even harder with you, right? When I used to work for these different corporate companies and back in the day when I worked for retail, man, I felt like none of y'all cared about me. Like it don't take too much time to like just say good job or
Good
a little
job.
dap or something.
Yeah, something.
I'm like, y'all don't give a darn about me. But you know what? I learned from those moments, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to be like that. I want to make sure that I learn the people that I work with, and again, that's gonna be able to put you in a position where people are gonna work even harder for
That's
you
right.
and for your vision as well. So another thing you said about the emotional intelligence when you were breaking that down, bro, the image that came in my mind that reminds me of you is an archer with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And the reason why that reminds me of you is because when you think of somebody with a bow and arrow, you never see them trying to shoot something, running around. Like they are
Mhm.
calm, steady,
Yeah.
breathing, pulling back, shoot and kill when ready, attack that when ready, talk about that when ready, and you go, right? And so that's
Mhm.
one thing that I respect about you. You're always even kill.
Thank you.
Um, you're never too hot, never too cold. It's funny, quick funny story. When I was in California, they had me on the grill, okay, the propane
Okay.
grill, okay.
All right.
Usually, and bro, like I take pride in how I can cook, but the grill got a little out of control, bro.
The propane's different. The
It's
propane is different.
different, bro.
No, no, it is different. Yeah.
Black smoke.
It's cool.
I'm talking about like, okay, what's going on here? But in that moment, and by the way, it's a kids party. So you got people looking around. My sister got her phone out.
She dirty for that.
She dirty
Yo,
for that.
she's so dirty for that.
I'm like, but in this moment, you want to be an archer. You want to be calm, cool,
Yeah.
collective.
Yeah.
We got it under control. Close the joint, put some water in there, turn
Mm.
off everything. We got it under control. We good. Nothing's gonna burn down. Right. And that's how I see you.
Man, I appreciate that. This is something that took a while. You probably don't believe this, but I'll this is the truth. Growing up, I was a complete opposite. I
Mm,
was always a hothead. I was always fighting. I was always a very emotional person. Then I hit a certain aspect. I don't know when. Can't remember exactly when it was, but it just didn't serve me. And life became a lot easier. I felt like life was always a struggle. Life is, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of stuff that always still happens, but um, being able to disconnect,
mm.
right? Having that emotional intelligence to say, hey, this won't last forever. You know what? I'm gonna give myself 20 minutes to be upset. Let me
That
disconnect.
you gave me
I'm
that game.
angry right now. I'm going to go in a safe place that's not going to harm anyone, and I'm very angry. Usually it's the gym for
Mm,
me. I could go to the gym, I can work out, I can lift weights, I can punch a punching bag. Okay, in a safe place. I'm angry, but once the 20 minutes is over, it's done. I
that's it.
can't. And if it's super serious, if it's a major thing that's occurred to me, I get 24 hours. I get a day. After the day is over, I got to move on. I can't dwell on that.
Mm.
So,
No, that's good. You gave me that game or not yesterday, last episode before we hit record. You gave me that game, and I had something happen to me. I think 2 days later, and I did the same thing, bro. I gave myself, I think it was like 20 minutes. I had 20 minutes to just before the next meeting to just be upset, whatever. But like, yo, get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. And this is one of the reasons why I respect athletes. I respect baseball players
for
specifically,
sure.
pitchers. They got to be
Crazy.
next pitch immediately. You
Hmm.
cannot be thinking about, oh, I just hit my man in the leg. I just threw a wild pitch. If you're thinking about that, you're dwelling on that, you're gonna get taken out the game real quick, and that's
Yeah,
gonna affect your performance. And these
yeah.
guys are next pitch, every single pitch, next
That's
play,
why
next whatever.
if you see them actually when someone hits, it begins to be easier to hit a pitcher when someone hits off them.
Yeah,
When someone hits a home run,
yeah,
what you see
100%.
usually is a slew, right?
Yeah,
Or two
of
or
them
three.
breaking down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you see that in basketball. You see that in football. Um, no, that's good. I like that you brought that up.
Nah, man. Geez, deep episode, man. I know people aren't used to the deep episode, but we got some depth too, bro. We
Yeah,
got
we got
depth.
some
Like,
depth. We got some. So that's why I wanted to come on here and like, I know maybe people are thinking, oh, they were gonna say Chris was gonna say like, oh, he ran Instagram ads and it was a funnel and all that.
No.
And it's funny because I was watching an interview, The Diary of a CEO, and the
Oh,
young
I
man
love
had
that. I love that
th-
podcast.
he had three other entrepreneurs on, which I was like, yo, this is dope. And so what he did was at the end of the episode, he gave each one of them a briefcase. And each briefcase had either $1,000, $10,000, or $100,000.
Oh
And
crap.
the entrepreneurs didn't know which ones they picked, but the objective was to open it up and tell us what you would do with that money.
Okay.
What would you do in business? The entrepreneur that had $1,000 and $10,000, and even the third one, all three of them really said the money isn't really the thing that takes you to the next level. They were all in agreement that learning a skill and networking and getting to the people that they can sell to that have the money. That was the thing. One of the dude was like, "Yo, take the $1,000, put it in your pocket, whatever. Buy yourself some shoes, not shoes, but like whatever. Like that's pay your rent with it. Focus on developing skills and get in front of people that you can sell to that have money." The lady
Mm,
with the $10,000 said the same thing. She was like, "Yo, it's $10,000, whatever. I'm trying to make 10 million. This probably isn't going to get me here, but the skill set will get me there."
right. I feel like we just gave $1 billion worth of game. Might have been
Bro,
worth more than that, man.
I'm telling you, like relationships, being able to manage people, that's priceless, bro. That's literally priceless.
Soft skills that pay billions,
Yeah,
literally.
that's what it is. So let us know what you guys think down below. What skills, and look, there's plenty of skills that go into being a successful husband, entrepreneur, family man. Let us know down below what's one skill that you're learning or working on currently. Let us know what you think about what we spoke about today. And Jeremiah, anything else? But we have, oh, by the way, if you guys enjoyed this episode, let us know. We probably will do more of these.
Hmm.
If not, we'll go right back to talk about what's going on in the world. We we can go both ways. We like it both. So,
Yeah, man.
uh,
I mean,
yeah,
we're here to help and hear what they feel about it. What's the feedback? Do you actually like this? Is this some practical stuff that you guys can use? That's why we're here, right? So let us know.
yes, sir. Let us know. With that being said, it's the Light Wolves family. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace, guys.